Mbare Musika, the heartbeat of Harare, the kingdom of tomatoes, the capital of cabbages, and the undisputed headquarters of Zimbabwe's informal economy, or at least it used to be until it went up in the flames like every other dream under this government. And now, after months of construction, photo ops, and radio silence on actual help, President Emerson Mnangagwa has finally graced us with his presence at the market. He came, he saw, he waved, and he left. No speech, no rally. Just a presidential parade through the ruins of promises. In fact, eyewitnesses say the only sounds that came were from the Mbare Chimurenga choir singing the ZANU-PF choruses. Yes, you remember them. Those Mbare ladies that came into fame by singing the hit song Timu Ndikusetere Timu. Why no speech? Well, let's be honest. The last time Mnangagwa spoke in public, it sounded like a mixtape of 1960s war stories, outdated metaphors, and confused chuckles. Remember that in Victoria Falls? Word is, his team didn't want to risk another classic ED moment where he goes off script and lands in 1947. Can't have that in Mbare. Not with actual traders around, people who live in the now. So instead, he smiled for the cameras, shook a few reluctant hands, bought tomatoes that he probably didn't even carry on to the car, unveiled a shiny plaque, and vanished like the promises of 2018. It was all for show, all optics, no substance. And let's talk about the traders, the people who have kept Mbare alive even when the city forgot it existed. In October 2024, a massive inferno tore through the market. Over 4,000 traders lost everything. Millions in stock gone, generational livelihoods reduced to ash. The cause of the fire still unknown. But what we do know is the government swooped in quickly, not with the aid, but with announcements. We will support the traders. We are setting up a revolving loan fund. There will be interest-free loans and non-collateral support. Big talk, huge promises. And what came of it? Nothing. Not a cent, not a form, not even a WhatsApp link. But what did come were bills. Big ones. Welcome to the new Mbare Musika, where you need to pay $150 deposit just to breathe near your store. $50 every week to sell tomatoes. $1 per toilet visit. Yes, you pay to pee now. And if you've got a scotch cut or a car, that's $240 a month just for parking. Because nothing says economic empowerment like charging poor people to exist in a public market. Now, here is where it turns from ridiculous to outrageous. Word on the street is that President Mnangagwa personally paid for the first month's rent for all traders. What a kind and noble gesture. A man of the people, right? Wrong. That wasn't generosity. That was an investment, a marketing stunt, a soft launch of the Mnangagwa market empire. Because here is what the whispers say. The rental fees from the new Mbare Musika, they don't go to the Harare City Council. Nope. They are allegedly going straight to Mnangagwa's two sons and First Lady Auxilia Mnangagwa, the new unofficial owners of the market. Mbare Musika market is now privatized. The first family now collecting rent from the same people they failed to support when tragedy struck. Who knew Mbare Musika was a family business now? And now comes the burning question, pun intended. Who really started that fire? Because if we are following the money, and in Zimbabwe, you always follow the money, there is one family on top of this smokestack. Was the fire just an accident or a tragedy? You clear out the old, rebuild on public money, then privatize it under your family name. You don't need to win tenders if the entire building burns down. You just need a lighter and power. This isn't just a tragedy. It's a heist, a land grab, a market grab, a textbook example of turning a national disaster into a personal profit center. This is the Zimbabwean version of disaster capitalism, starring the first family as both the firefighters and the landlords. Mnangagwa pays the rent? No. Mnangagwa collects the rent. Meanwhile, the actual traders, those who built Mbare with sweat, grit, and hustle, are now glorified tenants in a market that once belonged to the people. The same government that failed to deliver aid is now charging them to survive. And the same family that should be answering questions is instead collecting monthly returns. This is not development. This is not empowerment. This is not rebuilding. This is state capture in a tomato store. So, while they unveil plaques and pose with vegetables, remember the truth. The fire may have burnt the market, but it lit up the blueprint. Burn it, rebuild it, privatize it, profit. So, in conclusion, the fire cleared out old tenants. It removed any trace of city ownership, and it paved the way for a flashy new structure that somehow ended up allegedly under the control of the first family. Coincidence? Please. Zimbabwe doesn't run on coincidences. It runs on corruption, cloaked in scarves and shiny plaques. So now, the Mnangagwas are the de facto landlords. The traders are tenants in what used to be a public space. And the promised government support is nothing but ash. Traders are charged to trade, to pee and to pack. But the biggest fee of all, the cost of silence. This is just a market story, but it's a metaphor for Zimbabwe itself. These people have burnt the country and they want to rebuild it, but privatize it and pretend that it's all about progress. Meanwhile, the people who built the country with their bare hands are left outside, wondering when their country became a family business. So yes, the market is back, but so is the question that lingers in the air like smoke after a fire. Who really owns Zimbabwe now? Stay tuned to Zimwaves TV, where we don't just ask the hard questions, we shout them through a megaphone wrapped in satire. This is Zimwaves TV. We don't whisper, we expose. We don't just report, we roast. Hit that subscribe button before they charge us to speak the truth.
Mnangagwa enda ungoita kamuna matoke kupetsisira imishuma endai munoita kamuna matoke kupetsisira birika povari kukudana kamuna